speed it up. Green, green, green.
On wrapping up, looks like the 11 of Dylan Rutherford will be number one on the board here as we get things started. Track a little greasy right now as he got some additional laps trying to get things dialed in tonight.
Alright, drivers, just as a reminder to line up on the front stretch for time trials. Front pit road for time trials. 68, I need you to go to the scales to have your transponder checked. 68 to the scales.
Warm-ups are next. Great late models. You can make your way to the staging area. All right, that will wrap up the warm-ups tonight for the semi-late.
Alright, gonna speed it up. Green, green, green. Yellow, yellow, stay high on the backstretch, stay high on the backstretch.
All right, warm-up is complete for crate late model 71 of Tyler Hoy. Tops on the board. In green, again, Pure Stocks. The second group will be making their way onto the racetrack in a few moments. Simulate drivers, be getting ready. We'll be calling you up to stage for your time trial shortly. Checkered out on group number 1. Jason Wilkins picking up where he left off a couple of weeks ago or last weekend. The number 9 is fast timer right now. Green flag in group number 3 for the Pure Stocks. Again, simulate drivers to the staging area for your time trial.
It's right in the middle of the track.
Underway tonight in the Hub City National here at Hagerstown Speedway. First driver out on the track going to be the 948 Joey Zambati, the third out of Kittanning, Pennsylvania. And as you can see, one car goes out. These are one-lap time trials. As soon as he clears on by, we will eventually get our next one out. But Zambati's going to try and see if he can set the mark tonight. 31 drivers will make it 27 in semi-late action tonight. Zambati back to the stripe. Checkered flag is out, and let's see where he sets the bar at tonight. 21.736 will be the lap time for the Kittanning, Pennsylvania driver. Next driver out is going to challenge him hard. That's going to be the 2024 champion here at the Hagerstown Speedway, Steve Kent, at Woodsboro, Maryland, in the 1C machine. The three-time feature winner and most recent winner is Dylan Wilson, found his way back into victory lane just a week ago, but Kent takes the green flag as they come across for their time trial. Ken working his way back into 3 and 4. Again, the 948 of Zambati, 21.736 time to beat. Kent back to the stripe. And he'll quickly go number one, 21.414 will be the lap time for the 2024 champion here at Hagerstown. All right, number 3 driver on the track. This will be the 4J, being powered by Bob J out of Everett, Pennsylvania. Bob, 6th in the Bedford semi-late point standing so far this year. A lot of Bedford cars with us tonight. Glad to have them. Good mix with our Hagerstown Speedway regulars, some Winchester drivers mixed in there, and of course some Potomac Speedway cars as well. And I'm sure if I'm missing somebody, I apologize. There's probably a couple other tracks represented as we get set and continue on in our early stages of semi-late time trials tonight. All right, the 4 of Bob J back to the stripe. Lap number 1 and his only lap will be number 3 on the board, 23.189 for the driver out of Everett, Pennsylvania, one of our Bedford Speedway regulars. Car number 4 out on the track, the 97, Trent Holmes out of Berryville, Virginia, one of the Winchester Speedway regulars, as he now begins to get himself up to speed down the backstretch. And the early going, everybody chasing Steve Kent with that 21.414 right now. All right, Trent Holmes to the 97 out on track right now. Fellow Virginia driver Brian Kearns at the 83 will be gearing up and set to go next on the track. And back to the stripe for the 97 Holmes, 22.935 is going to be the lap time. 83 of Brian Kearns, number 10 man in our semi-late points for the 2024 season. Driver hailing out of Cross Junction, Virginia, now on track. And joining him now as we get in our group, the 33, Scotty Nelson in Leonardtown, Maryland, one of the regulars of the Street Stock Division of the Potomac Speedway down in Budds Creek, Maryland. Scotty with us earlier this year and last year. As Kearns across the stripe, he'll go number 3 at 22.410. 33 and Nelson, meanwhile, getting the green flag as our latest driver out. He'll be the 6th competitor in semi-late action tonight. Still trying to beat Steve Kent with a 21.414. Nelson, one of the top 5 drivers in the warm-up times earlier tonight. The 11 of Dylan Rutherford at Front Royal, Virginia will also join him as he heads out on the back straightaway. Checkered out for Nelson this time by as he hits the stripe. And he will go number 3 at 22.273 seconds. The 11 of Rutherford at Front Royal, Virginia, grabbing the green flag. Our 7th driver out so far, Steve Kent, number 1 on the board. 948 of Joey Zambati, the 3rd. And the 33 of Scotty Nelson. They'll be the top 3 in the early semi-late time trials this evening. Back to the stripe for the 11 of Rutherford, and his lap time 22.8 seconds flat, and that will put Dylan in the number 5 position here early in our semi-late action this evening. Next on track coming up is our number 2 man this year in points, a 65, being powered by Dylan Wilson in Cashville, Pennsylvania. Great season for Wilson. 4 times a feature winner in semi-late action. The most recent winner here at Hagerstown Speedway as he grabs the green flag. And back in the group once again, our next driver back behind him that gets set to go do battle, the 88Z of Isaiah Miller out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania, the sophomore driver in semi-late action. Wilson to the 65, very strong in warm-ups. Let's see where he marks on the board. And right now, Wilson right behind Kent, number 2 at 21.615. 88Z of Isaiah Miller next on the racetrack right now, the Greencastle, PA driver. Makes his way around, and up next is going to be the 36C of Cale Martin out of Clearville, Pennsylvania. Miller working through turns number 3 and 4, coming back for the checkered flag in his action. And for Isaiah, it's going to be a 22.255 right now. That puts him 4th in the scoring pylon as the 36 of Cale Martin grabs the green flag here in tonight's action. Closing in on halfway, a little bit of smoke tailing. I don't know if it's tire smoke or not. He's got it twisted up coming off of those corners. Heads midpoint down the back straightaway. 7S of Brian Swagger out of Brunswick, Maryland. He'll also join him in this one-lap session. Martin back to the stripe in the 36. His lap time 24.553. And again, the green flag out for the 7S of Brian Swagger out of Brunswick, Maryland. And looks like Swagger's also got himself some issues. Some smoke coming from the back of the 36 of Martin. He pulls into the pit area, and that smoke quite a bit more prevalent as Swagger works it out. 7 of Rob Nichols out of Winchester, Virginia. He'll be the next driver out here in our time trials as Swagger brings it back to the stripe.
68, you are on fire. 68.
And 68 of Jacob Schut, actually, the driver out there out of Mapleton Depot, Pennsylvania. His lap time, 24.471. 7 of Rob Nichols out of Winchester, Virginia, next on track in our one-lap time trial. Right now, everybody chasing Steve Kent. Dylan Wilson still number 2. Going to be Joey Zimbotti the 3rd, holding on to that number 3 spot. Isaiah Miller and Scotty Nelson right now in the top 5. Nichols in the number 7. And he will be number 7 on the board. 22.737 will be his one-lap time in semi-late action. 54 on track right now. That's the 54J, Jimmy Combs out of Aberdeen, Maryland. Next up. Jay Combs back to the stripe, 22.397. He will be number 6 in qualifying right now. And joining him out on the racetrack, 21B, Brandon Lowry out of Clearbrook, Virginia. Our next driver out for his one-lap session. Crate late model drivers, you can start getting ready and moving to the staging area for your time trials. Crate late model drivers for your time trials. Again, drivers, you can start making your way there. All right, Lowry in the 21B, 23.125 will be his time. So as we pretty much have had the 15th driver on track and hit into the second half. Again, Steve Kent on the board, number 1. 65, Dylan Wilson, 2nd. Zimbotti, 3rd. Miller and Scotty Nelson right now the top 5. Is the 48 of Tony Hughley out of Frederick, Maryland. Is our latest driver to make it out. Hughley back to the stripe. 24.191 will be his lap time. As our latest driver behind him is going to be the 26 of Cody Jarvie out of Summerhill, Pennsylvania. Again, Crate Late Model drivers, you can begin to make your way to the staging area for your time trials. Crate Late Model drivers, you can begin to make your way to the staging area for your time trial action. 26 across the board. That's Cody Jarvie. 23.852 will be his lap time. And our next driver out is going to be the 15, being powered by Rick Potter out of Everett, Pennsylvania. Potter back to the stripe, 22.448. That will put him number 8 on the scoring pylon right now, as it's still Steve Kent, Dylan Wilson, Joey Zamboni, Isaiah Miller, and Scotty Nelson. Right now, the 54J of Jimmy Combs, he's back at the number 6 position. Brian Kearns in 7th, Potter in 8th, Nichols in 9th, and Dylan Rutherford. Right now, they're the top 10 in our semi-late time trials this evening. On track right now, the 3J BJ Jenkins Jr. out of Front Royal, Virginia, as he comes back to complete his one lap time, 22.454. And that will put that driver number 9 in qualifying right now. And on the track, about to set to take the green, the 00, Ryan Bloom out of East Earl, Pennsylvania. Again, Crate Late Models, you can make your way to the staging area. Crate Late Model drivers, for your time trials to the staging area, please. All right, Bloom at 22.990. That wraps up his time in semi-late action. And looks like problems hit the O1X of Adam Breeden out of Standardsville, Virginia. He was set to go, but pulls it back into the pit area, so we'll move on in our time trials as we move it down the line. The 31H of Greg Hainsey out of Altoona, Pennsylvania will be our next driver out for his one lap time. All right, Hainsey on track right now, still trying to beat that 21.414 set by Steve Kent early in the going, as we have about 5 cars or so left to do in our semi-late time trials. Again, Crate Late Models, you can make your way to the staging area. Off of turn 4, here we go. For the 31H of Hainsey, his lap time going to be a 23.083 that time by. Next on the track, multi-time winner from 2023, the 21, being powered by Jason Stoner out of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. Now the defending Hub City National Champion back to the stripes. Stoner trying to move up the board. He'll go number 2, 21.564 for the 21 of Jason Stoner. Right behind him, the 22 of Jamie Swank out of Somerset, Pennsylvania. Another very strong semi-late machine makes his way out. Crate Late Models for your time trials to the staging area. Crate Late Model drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. Swank of the 22 back to the stripes. Should be a pretty decent time for him. He'll go number 5 on the board, 22.209. As the 69 of Dwayne Schneider out of Hancock, Maryland makes his way out for his one lap session. All right, back to the stripe. Schneider in the 69. His lap time going to be a 23.506 as he wraps it up. And the 92 of Walter Crouch out of Remington, Virginia. On track. Walter, a one-time winner in 2024 here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Again, Crate Late Models. You can make your way to the staging area. Crate Late Models for your time trials. To the staging area, please. '92 at Crouch, the one-time winner, looking to see if he can get high on the board. And right now, he is a 22.812, trying to still find a little bit more speed in that machine. 3.30, Brady Neff out of Hagerstown. It looks to be our final semi-late driver. Everybody been chasing Steve Kent with that 21.414 as they make their way down the back straightaway. Speaking of the Neff machine, Crate Late Models getting set for their 2-lap time trials coming up here in a few moments. And the checker down going to be a 22.795 coming up for Brady Neff, as that will wrap up our semi-late time trials tonight. And again, Steve Kent continues the good fortunes. The driver to Woodsboro, Maryland, the 1C, the 2024 semi-late champion. Tops on the board tonight, 21.414 in our semi-late time trials. Trials for our 19 Crate Late Models is 17R Logan Robertson in Wingsboro, Virginia. He will be first on the track. The 11 of Ed Pope III from Hanover, Maryland. And the 31, Noah Brunell from New Alexandria, Pennsylvania. 3 drivers, 2 laps as we get set for crate action. 71 of Tyler Hoy. He was tops on the board in our warm-ups tonight. The Robertson machine was up in there as well. Let's see what Logan has as he comes back as the first driver to put a legit lap on the board. He'll be a 19.980 to get things started off. Back to the line, lap number 1 for Ed Pope. Pope will be a 20.387 on that first circuit. And the first lap coming up for the 31 of Noah Brunell, 21.357. Final lap for Robertson, back to the stripe, 19.660, keeps him up in the number 1 spot. 11P of Ed Pope will be in the number 2 spot right now. And the final lap coming up for Brunell in the 31 as he wraps up his 2-lap time trial. So right now, 19.660, the top time going for the 17 of Logan Robertson as he gets set to go. Up next, the 40S of Scott Sweeney Jr. out of Stevens City, Virginia. He'll be next up on the board. The B2, 2-time feature winner in Crate Late Model competition, Brian Booz out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. And the 18 being powered by Chase Hardy out of Stevens City, Virginia. Time number 1 for Sweeney. Booz in the B2, 20.286. That will move him up to number 3 right now on the board. And the 18 to Hardy, 20.875. Right now will be in 5th spot. To the stripe, Sweeney in the 40S. One of the top 5 drivers in our Crate Late Model points, 20.433. That will have him in the number 4 position. Final lap of the B2, the 2-time winner, Brian Booz, 20.668. He'll hold on to 3rd. And the 18 of Chase Hardy wraps up with a 20.489. Right now, he will be in the number 5 position with Logan Robertson still holding court up in the top spot. All right, group number 3 about set to come out. Going to be the 17 being powered by Jonathan DeHaven out of Winchester, Virginia. The 11P of Steve Payne out of Bunker Hill, West Virginia. And the 11R scheduled to go David Kaiser out of Winchester, Virginia. All right, lap number 1 coming up for our 3rd group of 3 as they come back to the stripe. It's going to be 17 of DeHaven. Right now, he'll be a 20.664. That will have him in the number 6 spot. 22.192 going that time by. For the 11 is Steve Payne, a 20.461. For the 11 is David Kaiser, moving up into the number 2 spot. Final lap for DeHaven, 20.298. And that will keep him in the number 4 position as they come back to the stripe. Payne in that 11T. And his lap, 21.590. Kaiser in the 11 machine, 20.149. He will remain in the second spot. Payne in the 11 will be third, followed by the V2 of Bruce and the 17 of Jonathan DeHaven. Pure Stocks for your time trials. Drivers, you can start making your way to the staging area. Pure Stock drivers, for your time trials to the staging area, please. All right, next up, going to be the 99, two-time defending Hub City National Champion Kyle Hardy at Stephen City, Virginia. The 33 being powered by Jacob Witt, your number 3 man in crate late model points at the Hagerstown Speedway this year. But the driver hailing out of Stephen City as well. And the 71T Tyler Hoy, top dog in warm-ups tonight in crate late model action. The driver out of Stewart's Draft, Virginia. 3 very good ones as they get set to change the board if they can. Hardy of the 99, back to the stripe, second fastest, 19.910. Witt in the 33, let's see where he shows up. 4th on the board right now, 20.267. And the 71, Tyler Hoy, back to the stripe. And Hoy will go third, 20.008. Final lap, Hardy back to the stripe, trying to get around Robertson. Right now he'll stay second, 19.797. Witt to the stripe in the 33. He will stay 5th at 20.453. Hoy right now in 3rd in the 71, 19.870. He'll improve his time, and right now he'll stay 3rd. So Robertson, Hardy, and Hoy, right now they are the top 3 in our crate late model time trials. Pure Stocks for your time trials to the staging area. Pure Stock drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. Well, the 72, Trevor Collins out of Seaford, Delaware, a one-time winner last year in crate late model action. 25 of Braden Anderson of Bunker Hill, West Virginia, and the 462 of Tommy Armel out of Winchester. Everybody chasing Logan Robertson right now as they come back and get set for the white flag, led by the 72 of Collins. Super late model winner at Potomac Speedway on Labor Day weekend. Now trying to add a crate late model win here at Hagerstown. 20.468. He'll kick it off. Puts him 10th on the board. 20.616. Going to be the first lap time for Braden Anderson in that number 25. And back to the stripe. Looks like issues for the 462 of Tommy Armel. Drifting down to the bottom of the racetrack here on the front straightaway. Checkered is out. It is going to be a 20.429. For the 72 of Collins, that will move him up into the number 9 spot. 20.774 that time by for the 25 of Braden Anderson. And again, caution also out. After that, we will have our Fast Time Award for the Pure Stocker on the front straightaway, our opening ceremonies, and get into heat race action tonight here at Hagerstown. As we get set to go for the next group, the 14C of Chuck Bowie in Welcome, Maryland, makes his way onto the track. 14 of Cody Breeden finished second in our crate late model points this year. The Fair Play Maryland driver, and the 5 of Levi Crowell from Clear Spring, Maryland. All right, back to the stripe. It's going to be the white flag coming out for Chuck Bowie. Going to be a 20.856 for the Welcome Maryland driver. Breeden in the 14 back to the line, 20.431. That will put him 10th on the board for the moment. And the 5, Levi Crowell back to the line for Levi. 20.613 will be his first lap time. Final lap for Bowie, 21.521. Breeden in the 14C back to the stripe, 20.192. And I'll move him up nicely up into the number 5 spot. And Crowell's number 5 back to the line. And his final lap will be a 20.515. Again, Pure Stocks, your time trials are coming up next. Pure Stock drivers, you can make your way to the staging area. Well, troubles in warm-ups prevented him from getting that onto the racetrack. He got there, but had to exit off into the pits. The 36 of Greg Carrico out of Winchester, Virginia, made the repairs. He's back out. Looks to be our final crate late model for time trial action tonight. White flag out for Carrico this time by. He will be a 20.731. Right now, Logan Robertson, Kyle Hardy, Tyler Hoy, top 3 drivers in our crate late model time trials tonight. Carrico, our final participant in crate action. Again, they have heat races coming up here in just a little bit. And the final lap for Carrico, 20.687. We'll wrap things up. And again, it is Logan Robertson, first out on the track tonight. And the Wingsboro, Virginia driver quickly puts it in the #1 spot, keeps it there. Our top time tonight, our defending champion, 99 Kyle Hardy, #2. 2 full groups of pure stock drivers, 31 on hand tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. As we get set to go, the 141, Sam Caravello out of Baltimore, Maryland, will be our first driver out to qualify tonight. Once again, back to one-lap time trials for the pure stock division. Green is out for the 141 of Caravello. The other one, that being Sam or Tom in the 41. He'll be out in group number 2 tonight in our pure stock action. The 7K of Michael Knight scheduled to go, but he did have some issues in the warm-ups, so that will bring out 32W of Robert Wilson into Clearbrook, Virginia. Checkered out on Caravello. He sees he can set the bar here in the early going. 24.361 will be the lap time for the Baltimore, Maryland driver. 32W of Wilson into Clearbrook, Virginia, getting the green flag. Next up, going to be the 47, Kevin Boyer out of Frederick, Maryland, making his way up to speed on the back straightaway as Wilson brings his way back to the stripe. And the lap time for Wilson going to be a 24.147. And that will be good enough for the #1 spot in qualifying here in the early going as the 47 of Boyer gets the green flag. 62 of Dylan Beavers out of Edgeville, West Virginia, set to head on to the racetrack. And fingers crossed, things look good for him during the warm-ups. He has just been decimated with issues this year, but hoping everything turns around for the driver tonight as he grabs a gear and heads down the back straightaway and gets set for his one-lap time. Here comes Boyer in the 47. His time is going to be a 24.811. That will keep him in the #3 spot of the 3 cars that have taken time so far. Beavers in the 62 grabbing the green flag. And next up, going to be the driver that picked up the Hub City Championship a year ago. The 88 of Nick Fogle out of Myersville, Maryland. He is up next in our time trial session. Beavers back to the stripe of the 62. Tops on the board. 23.8 seconds flag for Dylan Beavers as he needed that one right now. The 62 on top. 88 of Fogle, the defending champ, works his way off at turn number 2. Up next also the 5M Matinee out of Gordon, Pennsylvania. Fogle brings the 88 back to the stripe, and he'll go #1, 23.609 for the Myersville, Maryland driver, trying to win the second straight event in the Hub City Nationals. 5M, a Matinee at Gordon, Pennsylvania. He's on track right now. The 1ST of Justin Hoddle out of Winchester, Virginia, scheduled to be the next driver out. And back to the line for the 5M, a Matinee, 25.954 will be his lap time. 15T of Justin Hoddle out of Winchester on track right now in his qualifying run. 12 of David Thompson out of Hagerstown. He'll also head out as well. All right, checkered flag out, 23.820 for the 15T of Justin Hoddle. That will put him third on the board right now with Vogel on top. Thompson, the number 12, taking the green flag. So after 7 drivers so far, right now Nick Vogel, Dylan Beavers, Justin Hoddle, they are the top 3. Wilson in the 32. Currently number 4, followed by the 141 of San Caravello. They are the early top 5. .151 going to be the time for the 12 of David Thompson, and for the moment that will have him 7th on the board in our pure stock time trials here in group number 1. 57 of William Ecton Jr. Very good season for the Mercersburg, Pennsylvania driver. He ended up number 4 in our pure stock points. A very consistent season for that gentleman. Ecton back to the stripe, and the 57 will collect a 23.845, and that will put him number 4 in our pure stock qualifying as the 8R of Blake Reed out of Hagerstown makes his way onto the track. Blake also having a much better season in year number 2, wound up 9th in the pure stock points in Hagerstown this year. Of course, that other black and blue number 8, we're going to see him. He's heading down the pit lane right now. That's the champion this year, Keith Reed, looking to see if he can pick up a Hope City National Championship. Blake Reed, meanwhile, back to the stripe of the 8R, and he will go number 2 on the board. 23.713 for Blake Reed. And now Randy Lindenberg, fastest in our warm-ups today, the 17L out of Winchester, Virginia, and the opening day feature winner in pure stock competition. He's on track. And the 6-time winner just behind him. That's going to be the 78 of Evan Faust in Knoxville, Maryland. So 2 heavyweights looking to see if they can get to the top of the board. Here comes Lindenberg. And his lap going to be tops, 22.750 for Lindenberg. 78 of Faust taking the green flag. So Faust working midpoint down the back straightaway. It's Lindenberg, Vogel, Blake Reed, Dylan Beavers, and the 15T of Justin Hoddle is the top 5. 3D of Denver DeShong, the next driver out, getting set for his green flag is Faust. Let's see where the 6-time winner winds up in qualifying. He'll be number 2 on the board, 23.146. DeShong in Vemler, Pennsylvania, next on the track. And another driver that's going to be very strong and going to have something to say about the top of the board. That's going to be the 9 of Jason Wilkins, the one-time feature winner. He picked up the pure stock win a week ago here at Hagerstown. The Strasburg, Virginia driver also making his way onto the Speedway. DeShong back to the stripe as we're wrapping up Group 1 of pure stock qualifying. 24.333. Right now that will put him number 9 in our pure stock qualifying as the 9 of Jason Wilkins grabs the green flag. And the final car in Group number 1 about set to go out to qualify here tonight. And that should be the 2X of Dave Frederick out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. Checkered coming out for the Jason Wilkins machine. He was very high up on the board in the warm-ups. As expected, he comes back to the stripe. And the 9 of Wilkins will go number 3 at 23.221. All right, so right now it looks like group number 1 may be wrapped up. A couple of drivers obviously not making the answer to the bell because of some issues during the warm-up session. The 17 of Randy Lindenberg right now up top, 23.221. The 78 of Evan Faust, the 6-time winner in second. The 9 of Jason Wilkins, last weekend's winner, third. The 88 of Nick Vogel, the defending champion, fourth. And the 8 of Keith Reed. Your 2000 and, or I should say 8R of Blake Reed right now. Keith hasn't gone out yet. They are the top 5. Here comes the 2X of Frederick out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. This is the final car in Group 1 of our pure stock time trials. All right, Friedrich in the 2X trying to wrap things up in group number 1, trying to top that Randy Lindenberg machine, or at least get close on the pylon. The 2X back to the strike, 24.651 will be his lap time. So right now, Group 1 wrapping up. 17 of Randy Lindenberg, the opening day Pure Stock winner. Tops on the board. 6-time winner Evan Faustin second. Last week's winner Jason Wilkins third. Defending champion Nick Vogel fourth. And the 8R of Blake Reed. Right now they are the top 5 as Group 1 in Pure Stock Time Trials wraps up. Group number 2 about to make their way out, and again we will have a fast time award presentation down on track for our top Pure Stock qualifier tonight. Now, and it is the 8 of Keith Reed, your 2024 Hagerstown Speedway champion. 2-time feature winner in the 2024 season, or actually 3-time winner for the Hagerstown product. Back to the stripe for Reed. He's trying to beat a 22.750. That would be tops on the board. 23.513 kicks things off in Group 2 of Pure Stock qualifying. 03 of Danny Walters out of Abingdon, Maryland will be our second driver on track here in Group 2 this evening. .41 of Tom Caravello out of Baltimore, Maryland is going to be the next driver out as he gets set to go for the green flag. In the meantime, here comes Walters of the 03 back to the stripe. His lap time going to be a 24.172 as the 41 of Caravello gets the green flag. And while Caravello makes his way around, the 75P of Dustin Proctor out of Clear Spring, Maryland also will be on track, getting set for his one-lap time trial. Caravello in the 41, 23.385. That will put him tops in Group number 2 right now. 75P of Proctor getting the green flag. '71 of Carter Shank out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania will be our next driver out as well as Proctor works it to turn number 3 and 4. And Proctor going to be at 24.832, and right now that will have him in the number 4 qualifying spot. Green flag out for the 71, Carter Shank out of Greencastle, PA. And following Carter, going to be the 30 of Cody Sumption out of Stevens City, Virginia. He'll be up next in our time trial action. Back to the stripe for the 71 of Shank. It'll be a 23.833. That will put Carter third in Group number 2 right now. 30 of Sumption grabbing the green flag. And the number 8B of Braydale Bowman out of Claysburg, Pennsylvania, also making his way onto the racetrack for his one-lap score. Back to the stripe for the 30 of Cody Sumption. His lap is going to be a 23.755. That will put Cody third. So again, Tom Caravello, Keith Reed, Cody Sumption, Carter Shank, and Denny Walters are in the top 5 here in Group 2. But everybody's still chasing Randy Lindenberg with that 22.750. As we get set for another driver out, that's going to be 66 of Dalton Wyatt out of Bedford, Pennsylvania. One of the many Bedford Speedway cars on hand with us tonight. And back to the stripe for Bowman, 25.213 will be his lap time, putting him 7th right now. The 66 of Wyatt gets the green flag. All right, back to the stripe as the 42 of Andrew Safell out of Winchester, Virginia grabs himself a gear. and heads out on the track. Wyatt in the 66. He will be number 5 at 23.846 seconds that time by. Safell in the 42, very strong as always in warm-ups and has been oh so close to some victories here. He's had some great battles with the 78 of Evan Faust this year. Only to come up just a little bit short, but the Winchester driver now looking to see if he can get himself a good lap time. 67 of William Ecton Sr. out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania, also making his way out onto the racetrack. As Safell coming back with the stripe, his lap time, he got a little out of shape in 1 and 2. That cost him 24.167 and puts him number 6 on the board in group number 2. Semi-lates for heat race number 1. Semi-late drivers, heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. Semi-late drivers, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Ecton in the 67 on track, along with the 06 of Christopher Hutton out of Boyce, Virginia. Another very strong campaigner this year. And a driver over at the Winchester Speedway. As Ecton makes his way back to the stripe. 26.098 will be his lap time. Hutton in the 06 grabbing the green flag with just a handful of drivers left to go in pure stock action. Again, semi-late drivers, heat race number 1. Semi-late drivers, heat race number 1. You can make your way to the staging area. All right, Hutton working off a turn number 4. Trying to top Tom Caravello and overall Randy Lindenberg. The 06 back to the stripe. Tops on the board, 23.083. It's not the fastest overall, but it is fastest in group number 2. So the Boyce, Virginia driver, Christopher Hutton, right now tops in his group. As a 31 of Nathaniel Yonker in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, now makes his way out, the one-time feature winner. Again, semi-late drivers, heat race number 1. Semi-late drivers, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. All right, 31 of Yonker back to the strike, 23.441. That will put him 3rd on the board. And a pair of drivers left to go. The 13 is Sam Hoffman out of Strasburg, Virginia, will be up next for his 1-lap time. And looks to be the final driver being the 25, Rodney Hot Rod Miner out of Boonesboro, Maryland. He'll be out for his 1-lap time in just a few moments. Back to the stripe, Hoffman's number 13. He's been very strong on occasion this year. And right now, Hoffman 10th in group number 2, 24.277. As a 25, a Miner takes the green flag and one of our final drivers in pure stock action. Once again, following our time trials, we'll have a brief pause. We'll have our fast time award presentation down trackside and the opening ceremonies and get set for our heat race action tonight here at the Speedway. Miners 25 working off a turn number 4 is our final driver in pure stock action tonight. And he will wrap it up as he goes to a 28.775. So again, our congratulations out to Randy Lindenberg in the 17L, coming away with the top time in pure stock time trials. We will have a presentation for him trackside and get set for the opening ceremonies. All right. Well, we're getting everybody organized. Carolina, Laney, and Oakley. These are Zach Reed's little girls that are down here. And we're going to let them do the presentation of the Fast Time Award that's going to go to Randy Lindenberg. We're going to get some words from Randy in a few moments. As we mentioned, this is the Zach Reed Memorial. This is where he kicks off tonight. A lot of great things are going to be happening tomorrow night here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Well, let's give it up for those 3 young little ladies coming down here tonight to help out Randy and give him a check for his Fast Time Award. We've got some special things coming. Girls, thank you so much for being down here, and thank you for being here tonight. Randy, congratulations, dude. I know it's been a long time since I talked. Opening day. What are you, a bookend driver this year? Beginning and end?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, now take me through it. We were talking about it. We were looking at you. You were tops on the board in the warm-ups. And next thing you know, I see you sitting in turn 4. What happened?
Yeah, my good buddy down there, Tyler, he spun, and I didn't have nowhere to go. You know, that's racing. He come back across track here, and my wheel called him, and I thought I was done. I was like, well, there it is, Friday the 13th. That's my night. So.
Well, the track looks good and tacky for you tonight.
Yeah.
Now you're saying it's going to be a little bit different tomorrow.
It'll be different tomorrow. It'll be hard. That's when you want to have like the guys, like the 78 to 9, them guys, man, they just thrive on them hard tracks, man. I struggle, I'm not gonna lie, I struggle on a hard track. I was talking to Tony a while ago. We was just talking about the leaf springs, and with leaf springs, we struggle.
It's always fun to win races, obviously, but it's always got to mean something, especially here at Hagerstown Speedway. Hagerstown prides themselves in having so many wonderful races to remember so many drivers that are no longer with us. What does it mean to you to be top on the board already tonight, this weekend, for the Zach Reed Memorial?
Man, I'm tickled to death, and man, I tell you, I don't know. I really didn't know Zach. I mean, because I just started racing over here, and that was a couple, about the time he, had his accident and everything, and it's just, man, it's an honor to be standing here with his check and fast time award, and I'd like to thank Mr. Stoneberger there and his wife and them for putting this show on. I mean, it's a great show, and like I said, it's really an honor.
Well, you got some work to do the rest of this weekend, but you're starting in a pretty good spot, I would think.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can keep those wheels rolling and heading in the right direction.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Randy Lindenberg, your top qualifier to 31 drivers tonight. All right, we're going to let Randy get by real quick. It is actually Zach's grandmother. Now, I was trying to make her younger. She looks younger. Doesn't she look young, folks? Look how young this woman looks. Are you ready? Are you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead and fire away for it.
Thank you. May we assume an attitude of prayer? Lord, we come to you today remembering our fallen stock car driver, Zachary Paul Reed. We thank you for lending him to us for 32 years. We thank you for the special gifts that you gave him, for his kindness, compassion, and especially his love to serve your people. He loved the life that you gave him, and he lived it to the fullest. Zach helped to save lives and has brought so much joy to so many lives. Tonight, we would also like to lift up one of Zach's fellow firefighters and good friend, Rick Conrad, who was in a serious accident this week and underwent major surgery. We ask you to guide the doctors, nurses, and anyone involved in his care. Give them wisdom to bring Rick back to full health. Be with his family as they surround him with their love and support. Give them the strength and peace only you can give. We thank you, Father, for the many hours that Rick so faithfully supported Zach's family at the time of Zach's death. Your word tells us each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others faithfully, administering your grace in its various forms. We thank you for Zach's gift of being a wonderful son, grandson, brother, husband, father, and friend. We thank you for his family who brought so much joy to his life. Let his life be an example to each one of us, that we live our life to the fullest here on earth by fulfilling what you called us to do, and that's to help and serve other people. Lord, as these men and women race today, keep them safe along the way. Not only the racers, but others too, as they perform the jobs they do. We know, God, the drivers must set the pace, but in this race of life, we pray, help us, Lord, along the way. Although we know we are sinners, help us to believe that with you, we are winners. In the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus, we ask for your hand of protection on everyone here. We ask that your Spirit guide their actions and that they respond in a way that will honor you. Give us your wisdom, patience, and guidance. And we thank you for answering our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
In Simulate drivers, heat race number 2, you can make your way to the staging area. Simulate heat race number 2 to the staging area, please. All right, we are set to do battle. The first qualifying race of the night. 6 laps of distance, top 5 to transfer. The 22 of Jamie Swang, 54J, Jimmy Combs. Here we go. Heat race action in the Hub City National. Swang strong all season long, grabbing that early lead. Combs into second. It's side by side for third. 3J of DJ Jenkins on the inside of Dylan Rutherford down the back straightaway as they work it back into 3 and 4. Lap number 1 of 6 on the board this time by. 54J of Combs tucks himself up into second spot as he worked it back in turn number 1 and 2. Rutherford finding some grip on the high side. Draws even with Combs down the back straightaway. Going to be Jenkins back and forth and the 00. Ryan Bloom right now holding off the 71 of Carter Shank for the transfer spot as they come back for lap 2. Swang with a good 5-car length advantage off of that second turn. Rutherford got the second position moments ago. He opens up a little bit of a gap over Combs. And Jenkins a very tight fourth. Again, the battle for the final qualifying spot, the 00 Bloom. Couple car lengths over the 71 of Shank as the field takes the halfway point this time by. Top 4 secure and a good lead as Bloom continues to hold off Shank. It'll be 2 laps to go here in qualifier number 1 of 3 for Simulate drivers tonight. Jenkins trying to challenge Combs, the outside pole sitter. He's on the outside of him back in turn number 1 and 2. Absolutely perfect racing surface right now tonight. Great grip in this racetrack on this beautiful September evening as Swank brings it back for the white flag. Once in front, he has been able to hold a 6 to 7 car length advantage. The 11 of Rutherford remains in second position. Third still going to Jenkins as he gets around Combs. And for the moment, the 00 of Ryan Bloom has a couple of car lengths on the 71 of Carter Shank, who now is a little out of shape off a 2. He'll lose several car lengths as Swank comes back and takes heat race number 1 tonight in Simulate action. The 11 of Rutherford will come home in second. 3J of DJ Jenkins Jr., the 54J of Jimmy Combs, and the 00 of Ryan Bloom. They'll be the 5 drivers transferring in to tomorrow's Simulate main event for the Hub City Nationals. As we mentioned in Simulate action, several different winners, even though Dylan Wilson had scored 4. Steve Kent with 3, Jason Giesemann, Walter Crouch, Jason Stoner. Most of our Simulate drivers, ever winners this year, have made their way back to Hagerstown for this Hub City National. The green flag is in the air for the second qualifier. Miller down to the bottom side. Going to be Kearns in that high side freight train. Crouch in the number 92. He will be on the outside of row number 2, and right now that's where he kind of still is. He and Miller side by side back there for the number 2 position, and it's going to be Kearns grabbing the early lead. And Miller with a slide job up in front of Crouch. Now Crouch doing the crossover as they battle hard for the number 2 position, and Crouch sticks it in there down to the bottom side. Going to be Schneider up in 4th, Nichols in the number 5 spot, then Hainsey right there. So a transfer position battle is on early as Kearns tries to bring him back for lap number 2. Nichols kind of falling back a little bit in that 7 machine as he drops into the number 6 position. Hainsey in the 31 gets around him for the transfer spot for the moment. And we get set for halfway here in our second Simulate qualifier. All Brian Kearns right now on that 03 machine. It's still going to be Crouch in second, Miller third. Hainsey now up into 4th. Nichols gets around Schneider. And that will put him up into the 5th and final qualifying position for the moment. 2 to go here in our second Simulate heat race. And the ongoing battle for that 5th and final spot, a good one. Schneider lost it, but the 69 digging back in, and he goes down to the bottom side in 1 and 2. It's a little out of shape, gathers it back up, and by the time he does, Nichols is going to have it by a full car length down the back straightaway as the white flag about set to come out for Brian Kearns. Brings the 03 machine back to the stripe. Still going to be Crouch, Miller, Hainsey, and Nichols as Schneider a little out of sorts, and he has lost a little bit of a gap back to the number 7 machine here on the final lap of semi-late action. Check her down in our second qualifier tonight. The 03 of our 83 of Brian Kearns coming away with the victory. 92 of Walter Crouch, the 88Z of Isaiah Miller, the 31H of Greg Hainsey, and the 7 of Rob Nichols. They'll be the next 5 to make it into tomorrow night's Hub City Nationals semi-late event. There's 5 spots set to be determined tonight in semi-late action. Again, crate late models for your first heat race. You can make your way up to the staging area. First of their 2 qualifiers coming up here, and they will be 8 laps in distance here in just a moment as Scotty Nelson leads them off at turn number 4. And we get set for our final semi-late qualifier of the night. It'll be Nelson with that lead. Potter in the 15 on the high side. Down to his bottom is going to be Brady Neff in that 30 machine. Trent Holmes with the 97, a quick 4th, but he's on the outside looking for more as he works on the Neff machine. Back to the stripe, lap number 1. Nelson will be your leader. Potter remains in second, a car length and a half back. It's about the same gap back to Neff, and then the 97 of Trent Holmes for the moment going to be the 21B of Brandon Lowry holding that position in the 5th and final spot. Jarvie not far behind him as they stay single file and back to the stripe for lap 2. Again, crate late models heat race number 1. Crate late models heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Well, Potter staying well within striking distance of Nelson. We put halfway on the board, 3 in the books, 3 to go here in our 3rd and final qualifier. 30 of Neff still in 3rd spot, 97 of Holmes, and now the 21B of Lowry with some breathing room back in that 5th and final transfer position. 26 of Jarvie still back in 6th spot, hoping to see if he can maneuver his way up there and get a top 5 run as the 2 to go sign comes out. Potter keeps the heat built up on the back end of Nelson, a car length separation. Again, crate late models heat race number 1. Crate late models heat race number 1 to the staging area. White flag out, and actually the top 3 begin to stack up a little bit. Nelson still with a couple of car lengths advantage, but here comes Neff in the 30. Closing in on the top 2 with Potter, the 15, the meat and the sandwich there. Right now as they work down the back straightaway for the final time. 97 of Holmes still in 4th, going to be the 21B Brandon Lowry. Right now the top 5 as the leaders come back off at turn number 4, and Scotty Nelson in the 33 coming away with heat race number 3. Going to be Potter in 2nd, Neff in 3rd, and the top 5 made up by the 97 of Trent Holmes and the 21B being driven by Brandon Lowry. All cars will transfer. Again, 19 drivers on hand and some very good crate late models in action here this weekend at Hagerstown Speedway. As Carrico and Sweeney join the back end of the field, and we get set for the first of 2 8-lap qualifiers coming off at turn number 4. All right, going to be Breeden grabbing that lead. Pope into 2nd from the outside of row number 1. Going to be Levi Crowell up into 3rd. DeHaven and Sweeney, a pair of Virginia drivers side by side for the number 4 spot, with the 31 of Brunel right there likewise. Very tightly bunched together for the top 6 with Breeden leading them back for lap number 1.
Next, your big black flag. You have no fuel cap on the car. No fuel cap. You need to pull off.
14 of Breeden holding on. Pope a little out of shape. He tries to gather it in, but by the time he does, Levi Crowell is there and on the attack down to the bottom side. As the number 5 machine tries to get 2nd, Pope fends him off. Little contact between those 2. Pope will be 2nd, Crowell in 3rd.
30 seconds.
And then DeHaven in the 17 holding on to the number 4 spot. Brunel and Sweeney side by side as they work off a turn number 2. And that would be for position number 4. 3 laps of the 8th to make up the first Crate Late Model heat event are in the books. Crate Late Model heat race number 2. Crate Late Model heat race number 2 to the staging area, please. And trouble for your leader, Breeden, as he pulls up in turn 1 and 2. A tough break for the Fairplay, Maryland driver. And he heads it off into the pits, and that puts Pope in the number 1 spot as they come back for halfway. 4 in the books and 4 to go. 5, a Levi Crow. He is in second. DeHaven third. Brunell fourth. And Sweeney now the top 5 as they work down the back stretch. Second, third, and fourth those to tail as they work it back into 3 and 4. 3 wide battle as Brunell sticks it down to the bottom side. And DeHaven right on the rear deck lid of Levi Crow and shoves it right there in turn number 1 and 2. Climbs the banking. Looks like DeHaven may be able to hold on to second. Brunell powers into third. Going to be Crow now fourth. And Sweeney the top 5. And that gives Ed Pope a huge lead as he comes back for 2 laps to go. Everybody single file as they work down the back straightaway. Pope with about a quarter of a straightaway lead over DeHaven right now. As the leaders make their way off at turn 4, white flag in the air for Pope. Again, DeHaven, Brunell, Crow, and Sweeney. They are the top 5. Crate Late Model heat race number 2 in their final qualifier for the night coming up in a few moments. And 4 pure stock heat events still to come here on qualifying night for the Hub City National as Ed Pope out of Hanover, Maryland scores the Crate Late Model heat race victory in round number 1 tonight. Second spot going to go to the 17 of Jonathan DeHaven, the 31 of Noah Brunell, 5 of Levi Crow, the 40S of Scott Sweeney Jr. They'll be the top 5 in Crate Late Model qualifier number 1. Eight laps again the distance in our final Crate Late Model qualifier of the night. Field of cars making their way off at turn number 4 as Jacob Witt brings them down. Booz does a crossover immediately off at turn number 4 and tries to win that battle down to the bottom. Witt is already there. He'll grab the lead. Booz into second. Anderson wiggles a little, and he's got a pair side by side, the form of Hardy and Bowie right behind him down the back straightaway. Pure Stocks heat race number 1 to the staging area. Pure Stock drivers heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. 33 of Jacob Witt will be credited with that first lap. The V2 of Booz is right there behind him, a couple of car lengths. Anderson still third. Hardy wins the battle with Bowie, and he'll make up the top 5 with Payne about 6 or 7 car lengths back in the number 6 position. Leaders back to the stripe. Booz putting the pressure on Witt. And now Chase Hardy trying to move up another notch in the order. He's done a little racing up top, and problems for the 25 of Braden Anderson off the pace down the back straightaway, giving up that 3rd position. Meanwhile, Booz sticks it right down to the bottom as low as he can go. Draws even with Jacob Witt. 33 will be credited with the lead on that lap, which is 1 lap shy of halfway here in tonight's 8-lap qualifier. Hardy in the 18 almost turned it. He holds on to 3rd. 14C of Chuck Bowie and the 11P of Steve Payne. They are the top 5 as they come back for halfway. Booz very aggressive through those corners. Almost had to hit the bonders. Looked like he did. He came in so hard down low. And he didn't want to get in the back end of the 33 of Witt. And right now that opens up about a 3 to 4 car length advantage for the Pennsylvania driver down the back straightaway. Or I should say Stephen City, Virginia driver in the form of Jacob Witt. As he comes back for lap number 5. Again, Pure Stocks heat race number 1 to the staging area. Pure Stocks heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. 2 to go, this time by off turn 4, and Jacob Witt far from getting that victory for the moment. Brian Booz is keeping the pressure on. Again, the only repeat winner in Crate Late Model action so far this year at Hagerstown. Chase Hardy in the 18 remains in 3rd. Bowie in the 14C holding on to that number 4 spot. Payne a distant 5th. And again, Booz puts it right down on the bottom and puts the heavy pressure on Witt. White flag in the air this time by. Well, the while is going to be Bowie putting the pressure on Chase Hardy as they work it back into 1 and 2. So 2 pairs of good battles for first and third position right now. As Witt has to survive one more set of turns from another very aggressive Brian Booz at B2 is right down to the bottom. But Jacob Witt in the 33 coming away with a second and final Crate Late Model Heat Race victory. The B2 of Brian Booz will wind up in second. The 18 of Chase Hardy, the 14C of Chuck Bowie, and the 11P of Steve Payne will end up being the top 5 in the final Crate Late Model qualifier of the evening. Through time trials have already qualified. We'll see some of those in the dash tomorrow. We still have 4 spots to determine in each of our 4 heat races, which will be 6 laps in distance here this evening. The 9 to Jason Wilkins, which we mentioned, most recent winner here in pure stock action at Hagerstown just 1 weekend ago. And a past winner of the Eric Johnson Memorial. Let's see what he can do tonight as he gets set off at turn number 4 in our first of 4 qualifiers. So Wilkins bolts out to the early lead. Blake Reed in the 8R up in the second spot. As the leaders make their way off at turn number 4. Lap number 1 of 6 and a spinner further back. That's going to be Ney in the number 5M. As he spins it right down low in turn 3 and 4. Caution will be out. The on-track activity, we will be honoring the top 5 trackside in our crates, our simulates, and our pure stocks tonight. So if you want to stick around and see your favorite driver and maybe come on down trackside and congratulate them on their efforts for the 2024 season, I'm sure they would appreciate it. All right, 1 lap down here in qualifier number 1 for pure stocks. Greenback out, Wilkins again with the lead. Reed in second, going to be the 15T, Otto in third. Boyer in 4th, and Ney is in the number 5 spot. Again, top 4 drivers transferring to tomorrow's feature event. Coming up on halfway for Jason Wilkins. Right now in control in the number 9. The battle is on for second. Blake Reed has it. Hoddle right on his rear bumper in third. 47 to Boyer and the 5 and Ney. They are the top 5. And again, top 4 transfer in. Pure Stock heat race number 2. Again, you should be at the staging area. Pure Stock drivers heat race number 2. You should be at the staging area. Good lead for Wilkins. Right now, good quarter to half straightaway. Blake Reed a car length over Hoddle as they come back for the white flag in our first qualifier of the night. 47 to Boyer comfortably in 4th position. A good turn edge over Matt Ney, the driver that's fighting for that 4th and final transfer spot here in race number 1. And the checker now, Jason Wilkins continuing his streak in the number 9 as he comes away with the heat race win. The 8R of Blake Reed, good solid run in second. 15T of Justin Hoddle. And the 47 of Kevin Boyer. 4 drivers a transfer into tomorrow night's Zach Reed Memorial event. The next 4 have been found in the Zach Reed Memorial. These 4 will make it in tomorrow's 24-lap feature event. All right, 6 drivers set for 4 spots in our second 6-lap qualifier tonight. Pure Stock heat race number 3 to the staging area, please. Pure Stock heat race number 3 to the staging area. All right, field is set. Next 6-lap qualifier coming off of turn number 4. As we mentioned, Fogel, the defending Hub City National Champion. He takes the 88 down into turn number 1 and 2. Going to be Beavers in the 62. Good run early in his warm-up times, and right now he's a solid second. 57 to Bill Ecton Jr., very good season. Also a driver, hasn't gotten a victory, but some strong performances. Right now he holds on to third. Thompson and Deshawn, they have a little contact as Thompson got out of shape and drove up a little bit up the track, but Deshawn will take that fourth spot. Thompson right behind him, and then Friedrich as the leaders head off. Two separate three-car packs work their way down the back chute. Again, Pure Stocks Heat Race number 3 to the staging area, please. And trouble for Thompson. He had troubles last lap off turn 4. This time spins it high up in turn number 4. Caution will be out. It's set for the restart. Fogel was the leader initially, and we'll see what happens here on restart number 1. 62 of Beavers on his outside as we go back to green. Beavers chipping away on that bottom side, and he'll stay glued to Fogel for the moment. Ekton in third, going to be DeShong in fourth. Thompson recovers, gets back around Friedrich. He has the number 5 spot. And top 4 transfer into tomorrow's feature event as they come back for halfway. All Fogel right now. A couple of car lengths as Beavers now under attack by Ekton. He took a peek to the inside and swings it back into third spot by a car length. And the 3 being driven by Deshawn holds on into the number 2 spot. Make it fourth, actually. Transfer spot. 2 to go that time by as our leaders make their way down. Ekton continuing to see if he can chip away down bottom off turn number 2. Gets a little bit of a run and pulls up within a half car length of Dylan Beavers in the battle for second. Vogel brings him back meanwhile for the white flag. Ekton trying, but Beavers has that high side momentum and holds on to the position. One final time and another good run for Ekton. He's trying off that second turn, but Beavers has him covered down the back straightaway. Door is still left open as Fogel pulls the 88 through turn 3 and 4 for the final time, and Nick Fogel will come away with the second Pure Stock Heat Race win. Dylan Beavers, William Ekton, and the 3 of Mr. Deshawn will come home in the top 4 spots for our third, make it second Pure Stock qualifier of the night. Third of 4 qualifiers tonight in Pure Stock action, and a couple of heavyweights up on that front row. Yonker and Sumchin take us to the green. Again, fourth and final Pure Stock qualifier coming up in a few moments, and it's going to be Sumchin on the outside of row number 2, of row number 1 off of turn 2. He'll grab the lead. Doors left open, and now Proctor's been smoking a little bit at a time all night long. That 75P finally goes up down in turn 3 and 4. He's down to the bottom. Field coming back for lap number 1. Tough break for the Clear Spring, Maryland driver as Sumchin leads him off turn number 2. Going to be Yonker in second. 66 of Dalton Wyatt. Right now battling hard with Danny Walters. That's a good battle for third as he come back for lap 2. Top 2 still nose to tail, and then a same battle back there for third as Walters and Wyatt, they are bumper to bumper pretty much as Yonker continues to try to chip away. He sees the opening that Sumchin gives him, but not quite enough. And again, we got a spinner over in turn number 3 and 4. flag back out. We are at the halfway point in our third pure stock qualifier, and Nathaniel Yonker had chipped away on the low side. He got the high side restart, and he takes advantage of it. 66 of Wyatt in second spot, 30 of Sumption, third. Walters, the 03, a very tight fourth. Those are the 4 drivers trying to transfer in. The 32W, Robert Wilson, then the 67 to Bill Upton Sr. 2 laps to go this time by. Yonker, a one-time winner in 2023 and 24, as Wilson has some issues high in 1 and 2, but he's able to continue on. Looking to see if he can up his average. Sumption drives it down hard and low into the 66 of Devin Wyatt. No contact. Those two plenty of racing space. White flag is out. Yonker takes him back into 1 and 2 for the final time. 66 of Wyatt now comfortably in second spot. Sumption looks like he's got some trouble. He's off the pace. Walters of the 03 gets around him, and that's the transfer spot he's in right now. Trying to hold on. The 67 to Bill Upton Sr. trying to pedal and close up on him. Going to be Yonker taking the victory. Wyatt in the 66 second. Walters third. Sumption, whatever issues he had, the 30 was able to still hold on and get the final transfer spot in pure stock qualifier number 4. All right, field is set. This is our final 6-lap qualifier of the night. We're looking for 4 more to make it into the Zach Reed Memorial tomorrow night. And, of course, the B-Main will finish out the field as 6 laps will determine these 4. And green flag is in the air. Reed on the high side. Going to be Safel down bottom. Shank Hoffman, 4 very strong machines, nose to tail down the back straightaway. Coming back for lap number 1, Reed will be showing the lead by about 3 car lengths over Safel. Hoffman puts the 13 up into third. 71 is Shank in the number 4 spot, and then the 8. Bowman not far behind. He's trying to get a transfer spot. All right, halfway, coming up this time by K3 to control. Top 5 evenly spaced out by 3 or 4 car lengths apiece. And does not spell good news for Bowman. He's trying to get himself into one of those front 4 positions. Right now, the 42 of Andrew Safel still in second. 13 of Hoffman in trouble for the 71 of Carter Shank. He's off the pace off at turn 4. And just like for Cody Sumption, he was in that transfer spot. Sumption was able to make it work, but Shank can't. Bowman, the 8, gets the spot as Shank's off the pace, and we have 2 laps to go. All right, so Reed, the leader, point leader and champion for 2024. Safel Hoffman, very comfortable top 3 as he worked it back into turn 3 and 4. Carter Shank puts it in the pits, and we put White on the track. All right, final lap of qualifying tonight as the leaders head down the back straightaway. All Keith Reed, the number 8 machine. 3 times the winner and the 24 champion, back in 3 and 4 and comfortably into tomorrow night Zach Reed Memorial. He will take the 4th and final pure stock qualifier of the night. The 42 of Andrew Safel, the 13 of Sam Hoffman, and the 8B of Bradale Bowman will be the 4 drivers and make it into tomorrow's Zach Reed Memorial event. Well, no. We don't get along. Every time I talk to him, he gives me dirty looks in victory lane. Brian Booz, no. First off, our congratulations out to Tyler Horst. He is our champion. Tyler, unfortunately, is not with us here tonight, but our congratulations out to him. Second place, Cody Breeden in our 14 out of Fair Play, Maryland. Cody, where you be? All right. Is he coming? There he is. There he is. And we do have trophies as well. Heather is going to be our presenter. Come on, Heather. All right, one more box to go of awards, and we'll have those out there. Jacob Witt, the 33 one-time feature winner. He came home third in our crate late model points this year, and a great job for him. 34C, Craig Perrell, and he's got a representative tonight. Craig came home in the number 4 spot. And our top 5, two-time winner in crate late model action, Brian Booz in the B2. He was our top 5 man this year here at Hagerstown. He's going to be looking for victory number 3 tomorrow night. Guys, if you just hang out real quick, we got one more box of trophies coming. And Jason is here, so we're going to get a photograph wherever you think is a good spot, Jason, for him. Once again, our first year in a long time that we bought the crate late models back for points. Unfortunately, they got some rainouts this year. And still a strong field each and every week. They started to put the pieces to the puzzle together and look to be a very strong group. And we're very happy to have the crate late models back with us. 19 strong here this weekend for the Hub City Nationals. But folks that are around, give these guys a nice round of applause. Our top 5 in crate late model points for 2024. All right, we will move on to our Simulate division. We do have the top 5, and I know a couple of our drivers, car-wise, are not here with us tonight, but finishing 5th, the 81, Jason Giesemann. He was our number 5 man this year, finishing 4th in the points at 25 of Jeremy Mills. 3rd place finisher, and I know he's here, the 03, Brady Neff. Good run this year for Brady. Are you Heather Freed? Great dogfight between these two guys this year, and they put on a great show. Coming home in 2nd spot, several victories, a 65, Dylan Wilson, our number 2 man in points this year here in our simulates. Great job this year, and a little one on the way, and that's also great news. And coming away as our champion for the 2024 season in the 1C out of Woodsboro, Maryland, Steve Kent, our 2024 Simulate champ. There he is. Strong competition standing right there. Folks, give it up. Our top 3 drivers tonight here in Simulates for the 2024 season at Hagerstown Speedway. All right, our pure stocks also were loaded with bear this year. Even though we had 2 drivers that scored multiple wins, we had several different winners in victory lane and several drivers that still have yet to get that first one, and they are oh so close. And one of those is a driver that finished in the number 5 spot, the 32 of Tyler Fisher out of Fairplay, Maryland. Our 4th place finisher, also a very strong season, the 57, Bill Acton Jr. He scored one victory this year. That keeps his average. He's still seeing if he can get that second one this year. The 31, Nathaniel Yonker out of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. Number 3 man in points this year. He racked up quite a few victories, and it was a tough dogfight because when you got Keith Reed in the stable and out on that racetrack, it's always hard, but this man really was strong. The 78, Evan Faust, your runner-up in pure stock action this year. Good job, Evan. And picking up 3 feature event victories once again this season, he is very stout. The 8 of Keith Reed, our 2024 Hagerstown Speedway champion. Congratulations, Keith. Once again, the Pure Stocks coming out in very strong force, 31 strong tonight for the Hub City Nationals, and still a few spots up for grabs in their qualifying as they get a picture here on the front straightaway likewise. There they are, a very strong 5, and let's give them a nice round of applause, our Pure Stock Top 5 for 2024. David Thompson, where is David Thompson at?